champions of 2019, and that's Manchester City. Then you've got the 2018 champions in Chelsea, you've got the 2017 champions in Arsenal, and the 2016 champions in Manchester United. That makes up the quarterfinals. For those of you who can't join us live on television tonight, make sure that you get onto your YouTube and have a look at SABC 3's YouTube channel where it's live streaming there. Check out the hashtag as well on social media. Our hashtag tonight is hashtag History Comes Home. It's all live for you on SABC Sport, so make sure you do not miss out on this action. Arsenal, the most successful club in FA Cup history, 13 league titles to their name. Manchester City, the hottest club in English football of late. When you look at the league table, you look at the number of goals they scored, you look at the defensive structure of Pep Guardiola's side, this game is absolutely geared to bring us some of the best action you've seen in a long time. Sitting next to me to give us their perspective on the action, first and foremost, closest to me, Banyana Banyana's captain, Janine van Beek, 170 caps to her name, and on her way to the UK. So, how's your Scottish coming along? Can you speak, lass?
Not yet, but I will in about a year.
In a year or so?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that, Janine?
I am. I'm really excited to get playing again. I haven't played in a while since my injury.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to play in a European country, Champions League football, and just get playing football again.
Glasgow City, that's the club that you're headed to. Have you been in contact with the club? Had any kind of communications? When are they expecting you? When you pack your bags? Give us some scoop.
Yeah, I mean, they're really looking forward to having me there. There's a big buzz apparently about me there, so I'm waiting for a couple of interviews when I arrive. But being in touch with the coach and the club, and they're really excited to have me there. Yeah. And apparently leaving next week, so yeah. Do
they leak goals? Is that the issue? Is that why you're here now? You're here to bring stability to that defence?
Definitely, especially Champions League football. They play against Wolfsburg in the next encounter in the quarterfinals. Huh. So a really tough attacking team. I think maybe that's one of the reasons why.
Tabi, so you and me will never say we're going to play Champions League football.
Yes, no, we are only going to watch Champions League. But I think it's a great move for Janine. Well done. Congratulations. It's been a fantastic week for our Banyana players. Last week, a couple of them moving overseas. We saw Vivo moving. We saw Amanda Mtandi going to Spain, and Kelzo Peskin to France, and even Jermaine moving to Portugal. So I think it's great, and I think that's what happens when you play in a World Cup.
Tabiso Messia, SABC Sports Radio journalist, giving his perspectives on it. So let's take you back now. Let's give you a little bit of what happened in the previous round, in the quarterfinals. It was Arsenal in action against Sheffield United. That game went all the way down to the wire. The Gunners having to win it in the 91st minute. If you missed it, get a sense of what the Gunners are about.
Almost midway through the first half now. Here's Tierney into Lacazette, and Basham has conceded a penalty. It was right on the edge of the box. And Paul Tierney ruling that it was just in on Lacazette. This will be the best angle. And there you can see it was clearly just inside the area. Wrapped his foot around it. And nothing that Dean Henderson could do. Hanging on at times to that slender one-goal margin. It's been missed. Kolasinac and McGoldrick with the equaliser. And there's no flag this time. Holding Kolasinac and Mustafi all touch the ball, and McGoldrick scores in the 87th minute. 1-1. Sheffield United backpedaling rapidly. Ceballos. Oh, and he scores! Danny Ceballos fires Arsenal ahead. Their lead is restored. It's Eddie Nketiah who played the ball across. The chance looked to have gone initially when Pepe was forced away, and Ceballos, oh what a lovely finish that is under pressure. Look at the number of Sheffield United defenders in the penalty area, but Ceballos had the coolness to just see the opening and just guide it home. A finish of real quality from the Spanish substitute, Danny Ceballos. And in injury time, Arsenal lead again, and that could be the strike that puts them into the semi-finals.
And there it is. This is the road to the semi-finals for Arsenal. We have a Leeds United fan here in the studio, so he'll remember that first round encounter there for the Arsenal. Please, say your name, mention how it is that you're affiliated to Leeds United.
I think most of us in South Africa, Thomas, are affiliated to Leeds United, thanks to the great chief himself, Lucas Radebe, and the late Phil Masinga, the man they used to call Waltzing Masinga in Leeds. And I think that's when many of us fell in love with the club.
Then it was Bournemouth next. Portsmouth was the next team to be dispatched, and then you just saw the highlights there, taking 91 minutes for Arsenal to get that winning goal and beat Sheffield United, who put up a really brave performance there. When we go to the other side, this is what's going on at Wembley Stadium. They're coming out for the warm-up. There is the Man City side. In the center of your picture is Kevin De Bruyne, arguably the most informed man in English football today.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, probably one of my favorite players, although he's wearing a Man City shirt.
And then, there you go, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Also a very quality player, great technique, and can run at defenders. I mean, I would be very afraid of him. He has to run at me.
And you know what the stats say for Aubameyang? The Gabonese international in Premier League football, 20 goals from 39 shots this season. That is clinical.
I think it's been huge for Arsenal ever since he joined them from Borussia Dortmund. He's probably been their key player, and that's why they made him captain, because he leads from the front. And it's no surprise that he's been linked with some of the big teams in Europe because of what he's done.
And he's looking super fresh, because midweek he wasn't involved in the Liverpool game that Arsenal played there. Arteta choosing to rest him.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it was a wise choice by Arteta, leaving him on the bench. He is a key player for Arsenal. I think he gives the team a lot of confidence going forward, especially on counter-attacks. So maybe that's exactly what we'll see tonight.
But earlier on, you saw Kevin De Bruyne. Now, De Bruyne is like the hoodoo man when it comes to the Arsenal. 3 goals this season he scored against Arsenal.
I think it's against Arsenal where he has scored the most goals against a single team. I think it's 5 altogether. And in the match against Bournemouth, they didn't even warm up in that game, so you could see they're saving him for the big one. And I think he will be big for Man City today. Even in the game that they played after the restart, where Man City beat Arsenal 3-0, he was their key player in that game, and Arsenal just couldn't contain him.
You're hearing Tabiso call it the big one. That's exactly what it is, and you're tuned in for it. Kickoff is at 8:45. The build-up with Janine van Beek, Banyana Banyana's captain, the skipper of our nation, on her way over to the UK to continue her football career, as well as Tabiso Musia, the SABC sports radio journalist. So let's go to a quick break. When we get back, we'll get closer to the action and give you more insights, and also look at how it was that Man City qualified with that victory over Newcastle in the semi-finals. the oldest cup competition in the world. The FA Cup, 149 years old, a competition that began back in 1871, and SABC 3 is bringing you the latest iteration of that tournament. This year around, the defending champions are Manchester City. They defeated last year Watford by 6-0 in the final. They're in the semi-finals this time around on the back of a 2-0 victory over Newcastle. This is how that victory was secured.
Need that first goal. The whole game has to change. Newcastle will have to come out and play.
Collision in the penalty area as Lee Mason pointed to the penalty spot. Mankio concerned. It is a penalty.
Here's the ball played out wide to Walker. Bends it into a really good area. There's a little shove in the back. Needless push as well.
Kevin De Bruyne has assumed the penalty-taking mantle against Carl Darlow. And he does the job, De Bruyne, without really a hint of emotion. Got a penalty recently against Arsenal since the restart. And they've struggled a bit, Stuart, to find a regular goal-scoring penalty taker. Plenty of...
Put it. I don't think he's looking at the goalkeeper. Right in the corner, but Darlow goes the wrong way. Man City quite deservedly go 1-0 up. Here's the shove again. There it is in the back. There's one shove and then a second one.
Here's Sterling. Andy on the charge. Sterling winds himself up and scores, and may well put Manchester City into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. A little check onto his stronger foot, and from some way out he found a way past Carl Darlow. Newcastle 0, Manchester City 2.
Well, what a good finish it is from Sterling. Started right from the back. Port with the crossfield pass. It's a good one to Foden. He's got the overlapping run here. You can see Mendy making the overlapping run. That's why Mankio can't get tight. He goes inside. Joe Linton of all.
This is the road. This is how they got to the semi-finals, the Citizens. And when you look at this, the one thing that should jump out at you is the number of goals they score. What is the statistics telling us around Man City and goal scoring this season?
Well, I think they're a very attack-minded team, Man City. Obviously, they're always going forward, and they look so good when they're going forward. Their build-up is smooth, it's very sleek, and you can see by the amount of goals they've been scoring. They also played Newcastle in the league after that, and they put 5 past them. They put 5 past Brighton also, and you can see that they just free scoring even without Sergio Aguero.
Just to put into perspective, in the league, Man City have scored 93 goals. The league champions have only scored 77 in Liverpool. So that just gives you an indication of how dominant that strike force at Man City is, Janine.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's what they work on constantly going forward. That's what Pep Guardiola is about, is attacking football, clinical in front of goal. You see them always making movements in front of that final third. And anyone can really score a goal. But you look at Kevin De Bruyne, can score from anywhere on the pitch, especially set pieces, is good at penalties. What Arsenal does not want to do tonight is give away free kicks at the edge of the box.
So what's the record, guys? And if you're an Arsenal fan, you already know this. You could turn off your screens right now. You might not want to hear this. But against Manchester City, I'm joking, don't turn off. But against Manchester City, the record is abysmal, to say the least.
Yes, if you're an Arsenal fan or if you're a betting man, I mean, it's not a good night for you tonight, because Man City have won their last 7 matches against Arsenal.
Win, eh? Not Dronyana
win.
along the road. 7 wins in a row.
7 wins in a row, 2 3-0 wins this season in the league. And if you're to put that all together, the aggregate score is 20-2 in Man City's favour. So that shows you how dominant they've been against
But these
Arsenal.
two will be trying to get onto the score sheet. You saw Lacazette go out of the picture there. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will be looking to try and find the back of the net and give the Arsenal potentially a 3rd, 4th, 5th goal against a Man City team that they seemingly cannot beat. The last time that Arsenal beat Manchester City was in the 2017 FA Cup semi-final, a repeat of today's occasion. They'll know that, these men.
Yes, most definitely. I don't think people need to write off Arsenal just yet. I think they are in good form at the moment. They're really confident after beating the champions in the Premier League. they're going to come up with full force. They have nothing to lose. They really need to come out, because if they win tonight, it will give them a spot in the finals, and hopefully if they win in the finals, they are guaranteed a spot in the Europa League. So they're looking at that as well, not just at this game.
What else do they have, though? Aubameyang is tremendous firepower, but they'll also need a lot more than that if they're going to get past Man City today.
Well, they're going to need a Nicolai Pepe to come through for them tonight. I mean, if you're going to pay 70 million pounds for a guy, these are the games where he needs to show up. Now, it's an FA Cup semi-final, and a lot of Arsenal fans are still not convinced by Nicolai Pepe. But the problems with the Arsenal are not at the front, Thomas. They're at the back there, and as you can see, David Luiz is warming up. He is in that defence there. But there's the man of the moment, Lacazette. He's been in great form. He scored against Wolves, he scored against Spurs, he scored against Liverpool, and I guess that's the man they'll be relying on this evening also.
10 goals in the league this season for Lacazette, 5 assists. He can do both jobs.
Yeah, most definitely. I think he has found his scoring boots, and he's confident in front of goal. He's playing against Aubameyang next to him. So
Janine, as a
definitely.
defender, what makes him so difficult to play against?
I think he finds himself in really good positions in the box. It's really difficult to pick him up and man mark him. He sometimes goes in deep and makes defenders forget about him, but then also that burst of speed in between behind the defence is also one of his strengths.
Now, you mentioned confidence is high at the Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that will be on the back of Wednesday night.
Yes, after that 2-1 win against Liverpool. If you look at the stats, though, I mean, you can see Liverpool were dominant in that game. They had over 20 shots at goal, but Arsenal had 2 shots on target, and they used them very well. And I think that's what's going to be important against a team like Man City, because you expect Man City to have all the possession this evening to dominate the play, but Arsenal will have to use the little chances that they get. They'll have to be very effective. Yeah, they'll have to ride their luck also against that strong Man City attack, but if they put 1 or 2 chances away, and then they could give them a chance themselves a chance in this game.
Much improved defence for the Arsenal over the last 5 games. They've only conceded 5 goals in the last 7 games have Arsenal, so they've got a lot tighter at the back, and they'll need to be, because they're up against the most fearsome attack in English football. We're going to a break, but before we go to that break, let me get you this competition. You can win some terrific prizes, and all you need to do to win a 50-inch ultra-high-definition LED TV is tell us which team has won the most FA Cup titles in history. SMS your name, the answer to that question, which team has won the most FA Cup titles, and do that by SMSing SABC TV license number 232020. And SMSs cost R1.50. Free SMSs don't apply. Terms and conditions apply. What a prize, and what a very easy question, especially because I mentioned it in the build-up already in terms of how many titles and which club that was. We're going to a break. We'll be back with more right after this. The FA Cup action, a repeat of that 2017 FA Cup encounter in the semi-finals between these 2 same teams. And on that night, it was Arsenal who came up on top. Could we see another upset tonight? We'll also get a little look at the starting lineups. Arteta, a man who is an assistant coach to Pep Guardiola, he'll be looking to try and get one over his mentor. All that conversation, all that background after this. our favorite leagues and teams are back on the pitch, this is your chance to get in on the action with Betway's easy top-up methods. Visit your nearest agent and top up with Flash 1 voucher, Kazang, OTT or Azao. It's the perfect way to go for glory. Visit betway.co.za today and experience. Bet your way with Betway. Okay, guys, so Man City preparing for this one. Pep Guardiola is a man whose club are on course for a treble this season.
Yes, and I think they were boosted this week by the news that their ban at the Court of Arbitration for Sport has been overturned. Now they'll be able to play in the Champions League. And the second place is also secured, Thomas, in the English Premier League. So they don't have to worry about that. And that's why I think their focus now is on this game. And it's in the Champions League also because they're leading Real Madrid in that last 16 first leg match. So they're really on for a treble, Man City. Even despite the disappointment of losing out on the league to Liverpool, it could still be a good season for them.
Kevin De Bruyne in picture there, and he's just gone out of that picture. We look now at Gabriel Jesus, 13 goals this season. A man who is in form. I mean, he's got 3 goals in the last 3 games.
Yeah, I think he's a brilliant replacement for Aguero. When Aguero was on the field, he never really got an opportunity to play. Now that Aguero's injured, I think he's come in, he's done a brilliant job in front of goal, scoring all those fantastic goals, much needed goals for City. But yeah.
If there is a criticism though, it's he misses a lot. But we'll come back to that conversation because the stats do speak to how Jesus misses. We have to talk about this man because David Luiz is supposed to be the key to the defense, Janine. He's supposed to be the rock solid individual in that centre-back position for the Arsenal, but not necessarily this season.
Yeah, I think when he came to Arsenal, he was really happy. He done well. I think for any player, and I mean Pep Guardiola mentioned it, that any footballer is human. So people lose confidence, and when you lose confidence, mistakes accumulate. But yeah, let's see how he performs tonight.
As you look at Lacazette, let's just keep talking about David Luiz there for a second. 4 penalties David Luiz has conceded this season. It's joint record for the most penalties conceded in a Premier League season.
That's an unbelievable stat. And I think it's a big game for him. He's got a lot to prove tonight, Thomas, especially after what happened in that 3-0 defeat against City in the league game where he was sent off, where he caused that penalty, he caused those 2 goals, having come on as a substitute for Arsenal, and they lost that game 3-0.
As we look at the front men, we were discussing before we came on air about a weakness that City has if you're going to try and beat them.
Yeah.
Speed.
Yeah.
Speed is the key. Do these front men in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Lacazette have that?
I think most definitely. I think, City will always dominate in possession. And if Arsenal could capitalise on the counter-attack with the speed up front, I think they could find themselves in a good position if they can do that.
On the other side of the park, here's the top goal scorer for Man City, and that's Raheem Sterling, 17 goals this season.
And like Janine said earlier on, I mean, Man City have goal scorers all over the pitch. And it's credit to Pep Guardiola with what he's done to Raheem Sterling. When he was at Liverpool, a lot of people felt he was not the finished product, but he got to Man City, he was able to finish goals. But this is the man for me at Manchester City. This is the man that makes them tick. David Silva, we saw that free kick that he took in midweek against Bournemouth. It's said that he's leaving the club at the end of the season, but he's been a superb servant for them for the last 10 years, and he makes them play. And I think they'll be relying a lot on him tonight.
And great for Pep Guardiola to give him a farewell opportunity like this one. If they do go out of the FA Cup tonight, at least he'll go out at the Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, most definitely. I think he's a great asset to the City team. But why would you leave a player like that out anyway, regardless if he's leaving the club?
Okay, so let's get to that discussion, guys, about a weakness in Man City. They're the second best defense in the league, the best attack in the league, but we're talking about speed being a vulnerability. Why are we saying that?
I think for me, as much as we've said the stats and we've mentioned how dominant they've been over the Arsenal or how good they've been in front of goals, but they've lost 9 times in the Premier League this season. So it shows you that Man City are beatable, especially in this season. And I just think it's just in the way they play, how their fullbacks always go up. You'll always find space behind them. And I think that's what Arsenal must take advantage of.
And clubs that don't have too much possession have actually got a lot of joy in terms of goal scoring against Manchester City. I'll look down here quickly and give you some of those stats. Wolves had 24%. They got 2 goals. Norwich had 3 attempts on goal, they got 3 goals. When you look at Tottenham, they had 3 shots, 2 goals. Traore, Martial, Mane, Salah, they all brought speed to the party.
Yeah.
They all were able to get goals on those quick counter-attacks. That's the Arsenal plan today? Is that what you think?
I would think so, yes. Arteta has been in the setup of Man City for quite some time. He knows how Pep Guardiola would want his team to play and how they would want to be organised and how he could possibly capitalise on that. But I mean, it just shows you that a team in possession is not always the winning team. So I think with all the other teams that have been successful against City are teams that are patient, compact, and catch them on the counter-attack when their fullbacks obviously finally break up into attack.
Confidence is high at Manchester City. They got the opportunity to play in the Champions League for the next 2 seasons with the overturning of that decision where they were banned. They're feeling good. They've got a trophy in the cabinet. They're still in the Champions League. And in the FA Cup, Pep Guardiola's men are on song all over the place. This is what he had to say.
Pep, it's not the big atmosphere you'd expect at Wembley tonight, but it's still a grand competition, one you're proud of. You're proud of the traditions and you're defending your trophy as well.
Yeah, FA Cup is, you know better than me, how nice, how beautiful is this competition for the transition, for the cup, for itself. And yeah, unfortunately without people, but anyway, so we are here.
You've made 5 changes tonight. I mean, is it an advantage in this sort of crazy season that you can actually prioritise this semi-final, this FA Cup tie? That hasn't always been the case.
Well, one eye was here, definitely. After winning the first two games after lockdown against Arsenal and Burnley, take some gap for the 5th. Yeah, we prioritize, but at the end we try to play every game like, to try to win.
You've played Arsenal since the restart and you beat them well. Is this a different Arsenal side you're expecting this evening?
Yeah, I don't know the system we're going to play today, but the setup, they changed after 1 or 2 games with 5 in the back and they were more solid, more consistent. They conceded few chances. The quality up front in the middle is always there. They had a tough calendar and in general all the games were tied. So what I'm impressed the most, the fact is they are a good team spirit. I seen everybody follow the manager. Everybody's committed to what they do, and you see it. So the result was really good.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
There you go. That's Pep Guardiola's perspective on the game. Looking very confident, looking like a relaxed man.
Yeah, well, why he should be. I mean, he has the best players possibly in the world, a great team. But he's given great credit to Arteta and the Arsenal team, saying that they look good, the spirits are high, and it could show the confidence that they have by beating Liverpool, that they could bring it to Man City tonight.
But how does Arsenal overcome what happened on the first game back when the restart after the coronavirus break took place? They played against each other first game back, and City gave them an absolute hiding just a few weeks ago.
Well, I think the advantage about that is that they've seen City now after the restart. They've played against them. I think Mikel Arteta will be able to plan better having played against them. And they can take a lot of confidence from that first half performance because they were holding them at 0-0 until that goal just before halftime. And then David Luiz, those two blunders. And I think Arsenal at that stage, they felt that they were in the game here. So there's something that they can take out of that match.
The game is being billed student versus master. Arteta, an assistant coach for Pep Guardiola. You're saying he would have learned a lesson in that 3-0 defeat just a few weeks ago to his master. But is the next exam coming just a little bit too soon?
Well, let's see tonight. They're going to go for it, I believe. I'm very intrigued to see what kind of formation Arteta is going to play tonight. Because the last game they played against City was a 4-2-3-1, matched up with the City. But against Liverpool, they played a 3-4-3, more attacking roles. So is it going to be a similar system to catch City, or is he going to hold back and...
What would you do?
I would go for a 3-4-3. I would go into
such an attack-minded formation against the City side that have such great attack themselves?
It worked for them against Liverpool, and they covered all the positions on the field. They could match up in the midfield with one attacking midfielder dropping back to make it a 3-5-1 or 3-5-2. But we'll see how confident Arteta is tonight.
Is he confident enough to go for the game? Or do we see an Arsenal side do what they did against Liverpool, especially second half, where it was just sit, do the defensive work, and look for a counter-attacking opportunity when it comes.
And I think that's what they tried to do in that league game against Man City. They were looking for those opportunities. They sat back and waited for them. But it comes at the right time for them because they've beaten Liverpool, the champions, 2-1. They were very effective in that game. But the problem with Arsenal has always been consistency. They'll be very good against Liverpool, but they were very bad against Spurs, especially in defence.
And the one thing that Arsenal can look to this season is that they're the draw kings of the Premier League. 14 draws. No other club has got more than that in the Premier League than Arsenal this season. So it does show that there's some defensive steel in this team. It's a team that can hold opposition.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're also kind of in rebuilding phase with Arteta coming in and trying to stabilize the defensive organisation of things, not giving away silly goals, not conceding anything. So that is what he's trying to do. He's been successful in it. And give him some more time, and it could be a team that is difficult to beat.
There he is. He's getting a lot of attention today because he has to be clinical. He has to, when opportunities come, find the net. So does this man. Out of Africa, out of Gabon, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, already a legend in Arsenal colours.
And I think just like we said about Arsenal being not strong at the back as they are up front, it's the same with Man City. And I think if those two can put pressure on Man City up front, then they've got a chance in this game.
13 titles for the Arsenal. They're the best club in FA Cup history. The last time that they were victorious was back in 2017. And you really can't look at their league form and really equate it to the FA Cup, can you? Because the last two times they played Manchester City at Wembley Stadium, what happened?
Well, they beat City twice, I think. So it is a neutral ground. It favours Arsenal, clearly. So it could be a big upset for me. You know, people are always saying City, City, City. And there's no way that Arsenal's going to win tonight. But neutral ground, they're full of confidence. I think they could cause an upset.
This was the arrival a little bit earlier on as the teams arrived. Here's the man that all eyes will be on in Kevin De Bruyne. 18 assists, 11 goals in all in the league so far for Kevin De Bruyne. What a machine.
It's incredible how he's been involved not only in goal scoring but in assisting with the goals. He's the guy that Arsenal will need to contain so that he doesn't spread through those passes for Raheem Sterling, because once Sterling gets behind that back three of Arsenal, then he will put them away. Gabriel Jesus will be hanging up there up front. He'll be playing probably as that lone striker, and if they give him the service, I mean, that defense of Arsenal is in trouble.
The one stat that's interesting for Jesus is he's missed 22 big chances this season. That's the highest of any striker of the big clubs in England. 22 big chances.
Yeah. And I think that is something that Pep has worked with him on. Yeah. I mean, if you see Raheem Sterling when he first came into City, how many opportunities, clear-cut opportunities that he missed. So it's something that he's obviously worked on with Gabriel, and you can see that he's starting to become clinical in front of goal. 6
titles for the Citizens. The last of those being in 2019. They're the defending champions. Pep Guardiola is, if you look at the last 4 clubs in the FA Cup, he's the only coach that's won the FA Cup as a coach.
Yes, and if you look at the last 4 clubs that are standing, probably when the semi-finals were decided, Man City, or everybody would have wanted to play Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea and Man City, and everybody would have wanted to avoid Manchester City. So Arsenal have it all to do tonight against Man City and against a manager like Pep Guardiola, who knows Mikel Arteta very well, but he has a lot of respect for Mikel Arteta. He believes he's the right man for the job at Arsenal, and if they give him time, he can actually do something special at the club.
Arteta does have FA Cup experience himself. 2 titles as an Arsenal player.
Yeah, I rated him as a player since he came to the Premier League, when he joined Everton, then went to Arsenal. I think he's fantastic for the job. He has a lot of experience and knowledge that he gained from Pep. So I think he's a good man for the job.
But the one thing that he has to look at today is the stat that says they're the 3rd worst team, Arsenal, when it comes to defending set pieces.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned that to you before we went on air, you went, oh, that's a disaster for them.
Definitely. They need to try and avoid that area. And I think it's going to be difficult because you have Raheem Sterling on one side, you have Mahrez on the other side, that you have David Silva that is fantastic with the ball.
And De Bruyne's set pieces are fantastic.
And then you get De Bruyne with set piece of the ball, and David Silva. So One thing, if I was Arsenal defence, I would tell my defenders, stay on your feet, do not concede any set piece.
So that essentially that defence needs a perfect night tonight. They are the third worst defence to set pieces. They've got a David Luiz who gives away more penalties than anybody else in the league. How does that all come together tonight and not be a big scoreline in favour of City?
Well, they need to take a page from how they defended against Liverpool. I think Arsenal defended very well against Liverpool. Rob Holding kept Sadio Mane in his pocket. Mane might have got that early goal, but after that, I think Rob Holding had the better of him. And I always believe that if Rob Holding is in that central defence of Arsenal, he always just gives them more. He gives them aerial ability. He gives them a bit more stability at the back, and is always key for them. But if they go and they defend like they did against Tottenham, then they'll be in big trouble against Man City tonight.
All right, let's take a look at Man City's form coming into this semi-final. Get a glimpse of this.
In December 2019, Arteta left his coaching role at City and returned to the club he captained to an FA Cup win in 2014. Arsenal's pedigree in this competition has no equal. Their record 13th win came in 2017 after they beat City 2-1 in a thrilling semi-final. Since then, the Gunners have faltered, losing all 7 meetings between the two. They'll hope their new boss can help bridge that gap. The Londoners' journey to this point started with a 1-0 home win over Championship leaders Leeds. Their next 3 ties were all away from the Emirates. 2 visits to the south coast, beating both Bournemouth and Portsmouth, before a tricky meeting with Sheffield United, where a late Dani Ceballos goal secured a 2-1 win. City are the holders of the FA Cup after dismantling Watford in last year's showpiece. Already victorious in the EFL Cup, they're honing in on an unprecedented domestic cup double-double. This incredible achievement has been engineered by one of the finest coaches of his generation and an array of exceptionally talented players. They brushed aside League Two Port Vale in round 3, scoring 4 times, before repeating the trick against Championship promotion hopefuls Fulham. Slight resistance on their travels at Sheffield Wednesday, with the citizens restricted to just a single goal, but they eased past Newcastle in the quarter-finals by 2-0. Today is when the club's credentials will be truly tested.
Oh, the action is fantastic. It's coming your way, and we want you to win prizes, but only if you have your TV license. Win a 50-inch ultra-high-definition LED TV, and all you need to do is tell us which team has won the most FA Cup titles. SMS your name, answer, and send that through to 32020. And with your SABC TV licenses. Remember, SMSs cost R1.50. Free SMSs don't apply. Terms and conditions do apply. If you want a clue, well, the team which has won the most FA Cup titles is one of the 2 teams playing tonight. So I've given you a 50-50 chance when it comes to that. It's simple. Win yourself that 50-inch ultra-high-definition LED TV. Now, let's talk to the 2 analysts here in the studio. Tabi, so I've heard Janine being quite positive about Arsenal. I don't know if she's quite ready to put her money out there on the Arsenal yet, but are you feeling the same way, or are you seeing this being a one-way traffic Man City encounter?
If you look at the numbers, if you look at the stats, it looks like one-way traffic, but it is a semi-final, Thomas. It is a once-off game, and like Janine mentioned, that Arsenal are probably at a neutral venue at Wembley. There are no fans, so they can be comfortable and they can play their game. And I think if they manage to keep City scoreless until the break, they'll believe that they've got a chance in this game. The trick is just how to contain Man City and the defense of Arsenal. And Granit Xhaka, for me, I think will be key in front of that defense of the Arsenal, because he's been big for them also.
So there they are. They line up in the tunnel at that majestic venue, the Wembley Stadium. Let's get the predictions as the teams go out and we get ready to join our commentary team. Janine, your prediction?
I think it's going to be a tough game. I think both teams will score a goal, but I'm going to go 2-1 City.
2-1 to City?
Yeah.
I know you're already wearing all blue, so I don't think I even need to ask Thabiso, but nonetheless, Thabiso?
I think Arsenal have a chance if they keep them scoreless in the first half, but it points to City, this one, Thomas. The best Arsenal can do is probably take them to extra time and see what happens after that. But in 90 minutes, you have to give it to City, according to the stats.
Write off Arsenal at your own peril, though, because in 2017 in the FA Cup semi-final, it was Sanchez who scored an extra time winner to get the Arsenal through. Then in 2018 in the League Cup final, it was Arsenal that defeated Manchester City. They're led out by their African captain in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Right behind him is Emi Martinez, a goalkeeper who has done sensationally well for them since getting the gloves, and he will continue to try and keep up the statistic that has him as the highest save goalkeeper in the league percentage-wise in the last 7 games. He'll have a busy night. Let's get to our commentary team at an empty Wembley Stadium, but full of fantastic FA Cup action right here on SABC 3.
Fact which will encourage Arsenal fans. The last time the Gunners did beat Manchester City was over 3 years ago, and it was in an FA Cup semi-final in this very stadium.
Well, I think there's no doubt for Mikel Arteta and his team there needs to be an incredible amount of discipline playing against this City side the way they play. I think that will be one of his strong messages to his team, that they have to stay at their full quota. They mustn't make mistakes, eliminate mistakes to give themselves a chance.
Well, let's give you the lineups. Arsenal's backup goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, is proving a very capable deputy for the injured Bernd Leno. Arteta favours a back three, which does include David Luiz, who was sent off against City last month. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is preferred to Bukayo Saka. After being rested on Wednesday against Liverpool, back come Bellerin, Dani Ceballos, and the captain and top scorer, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Pep Guardiola usually uses backup goalkeeper Claudio Bravo in cup ties, but he's injured, so first choice Ederson starts. He also rotated for Wednesday's win over Bournemouth, protecting the likes of Laporte and De Bruyne. Sterling and Mahrez only came on as a substitute. All are back this evening. 19-year-old defender Eric Garcia did face Arsenal in the league last month, but ended that night in hospital with concussion. It's a wonderful stadium, and it's now making its own history. The behind closed doors scenario might be seen as a highlight, but that football is overcoming that will be. I can't stress how much detail has gone into getting players safe, tested regularly against COVID-19, and the effort the football authorities and indeed the medics in football have put into allowing us to have the entertainment. We're privileged to be in the stadium. We know many of you watching would love to be here. But we have to be the messengers, and I do hope you will enjoy what is about to start here. Referee John Moss waiting for the countdown. The first whistle is followed, as has been the case in every Premier League game and indeed every FA Cup tie since the game restarted, taking the knee and sending the message. So in classic colours, red and white against light blue, Arsenal against Manchester City, Chelsea against Manchester United to come tomorrow. Whichever way it goes over the next 24 hours or so, it's going to set up for a terrific final in a couple of weeks' time. Just a couple of weeks between the semi and the final. That's very unusual in itself, but a consequence of the circumstances we all find ourselves in.
Big prize up for stake, Martin. Crowd or no crowd, very interesting to see how Arsenal defend in numbers, but when in possession of the ball, how they can keep it, how they can penetrate, how incisive They have to be. If it's a few chances they create, can they take them?
What they did do, Arsenal, on Wednesday against the champions, admittedly in slightly less than 100% mode, as is natural in those circumstances. They came from behind to beat Liverpool, and Liverpool didn't want to get beaten. There was no easing off of the pressure. They defended really grimly and determinedly for the latter part of the game, and got the 3 points. So that kind of organisation will be needed, you feel, here tonight.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about that. If Arsenal are going to succeed, it's going to be about how they defend, how they prevent City with their possession, creating those opportunities.
There's Raheem Sterling. Remember, they won the Cup 6-0 against Watford. And the semi-final was much closer. Just the one Gabriel Jesus goal to beat Brighton. Moved away by Mustafi.
Have to stay very tight with the 3 central defenders for Arsenal. Tierney on the left of Luiz, Mustafi on the right, to stop those balls and service, certainly from Gundogan and the impressive De Bruyne, already trying to find those forward runs of the City strikers.
And Raheem Sterling has got going again with goals. He was a little bit short of them in the first part of the year before the lockdown. Rattled in a hat-trick recently at Brighton. And he's now Sergio Aguero to pull out for the rest of the season. Sterling is the leading scorer for Manchester City, which says quite a lot. There's a lot of competition in that respect.
26 goals is a fantastic return from Raheem Sterling.
De Bruyne.
Every player except Ederson in the Arsenal half.
And Dani Ceballos lost it, and this could be a serious consequence. Could easily have been an own goal. For the relief of the Spanish midfield player.
Tierney does well with his unfavoured right foot, volleying that ball clear in the 6-yard box. Again, winning the ball back quickly, City. Sterling staying on side, delivering into the 6-yard box. And Tierney just has to side foot the volley away from the upright.
Corner for City. It's not the tallest Manchester City you'll ever see. Mahrez trying to put it on the money. And Ceballos at least gets Arsenal up the pitch. As we expected, Pepe starting on the right for Mikel Arteta. Aubameyang, who does favour coming from the left, gets into scoring positions, catching out defenders with movement from outside to in.
The ball's cleared in a hurry, Martin, but it is turning over possession. They need to find somehow just periods of the game where they can keep possession and take the pressure off their defensive responsibilities that certainly City force upon you all the game. If you drop deep, you allow them to control possession. When you do regain possession, you have to keep it for some period of time, for some respite.
Pep Guardiola has only lost one of 17 finals as a club manager, but he has lost 7 out of 21 semis. So maybe Mikel Arteta will sense that this is the right round to play him in. Well, he probably would have preferred any other draw than facing his friend and mentor.
Facing Manchester City here at Wembley, which they thoroughly enjoy.
It's an extraordinary record they have here. It's like the Etihad of the South, Wembley for Manchester City. It's their 10th game in just over 2.5 years in this ground, and they've won all of the previous 9.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal record to bring to this stadium.
Well, Martinez trying to take a leaf from Ederson's book there with some distribution. The backup goalkeeper's done well. He's been at Arsenal for 10 years. He's now getting the best chance he's had over that period.
Incredibly, looking at his stats, Martin, he's played more times this season than he has in the past 9 years combined. Incredible. He's just a couple of appearances each year seem to be the norm.
Yeah, he's had a few spells out on loan, hasn't he, when he's had more game time.